Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Growth Chakra. This fourth episode of the Growth Chakra will be focusing on the title From Classrooms to Careers, a modern student's survival guide. Today's episode is extra special, not just because of the topic, but because of the incredible guest joining us. You know how every student has that one person who becomes a compass, guiding, mentoring, and shaping futures? For me and for many others, that person is Dr. Lu Yang. Dr. Yang wears many hats. By day, he's an inspiring instructor at Dalhousie University, igniting curiosity in the classroom. And by profession, again, he is a powerhouse in the tech world. So he works as a senior cloud solution architect at DeepSense, with over 20 years of experience in ever-evolving IT industry. But what truly sets him apart is his heart for students, his ability to bridge knowledge with opportunity, theory with practice, and passion with purpose has been nothing short of transformative. So, he's not just a professor, he's a mentor, a coach, and a constant source of encouragement. So, whether you're tuning in from a classroom, coffee shop, co-op cubicle, especially the international students, get ready to explore what it truly means to learn, adapt, and thrive in today's fast-moving world with the wisdom of someone who has helped so many just do that. So let's dive in. Hello, Professor. Welcome to the fourth episode of the Growth Chakra, from classroom to careers. In this episode, I know there's a lot of discussion and a lot of insights that I can probably get, and obviously the viewers can also find and get from you, from what you're saying. So this is basically a modern survival guide. Right. And I know there's a lot of information that you have to share with us as well. So without further ado, I want to bring and dive deep directly into the whatever questions that I have prepared, because I feel like there are specific answers that I feel would help a lot of students, right? So the first thing was, I know there are like a lot of challenges with the current day changes that are going around the world, right? So what do you think are the biggest differences in how the students learn in Canada compared to other countries, right? So maybe something you can share about how can international students adapt effectively to the changes to what's going on currently.
Okay, so first, thank you, Drew, for inviting me to this episode. I'm very glad to discuss all about the educations you want to ask. So for your question about how the biggest differences students learn in Canada and how can international students adapt effectively, I feel because in the past few years I've been interacting with a lot of international students, and I do hear a lot of strugglings, difficulties from them. I think the first thing for a lot of students are the cultural background and the language. See, for students who are from India, maybe language is not a big problem, but culture is still a big problem for them. Some students told me it's my first time taking an air flight and to any other places from India to Canada, or we have never been to big cities. That's perfectly fine, but after you land on at Canada, you feel, oh, there are so many differences, right? It's
Get it?
you
Yeah.
need some time to adapt yourself, and also the most important thing next after you land is that you need to survive, right? So a lot of students do part-time jobs.
Right.
Doing part-time jobs can make students study very, very hard, and you have to deal with a lot of some trivial things in your life previously when you were back in your own country. You have parents, you have friends, right? Now all the trivial things you have to do by yourself, right?
Sense, yes.
So it can be very difficult. And now you start your study in the university with all these difficulties, and the study in Canada can be quite tough. Um, I have a background of Chinese education, back in, say, about 20 years back in China. So I feel that the workload of Canadian universities, at least compared to China, is much, much more heavier.
Mm,
So with your cultural differences, with all you have to deal with everything by yourself, your part-time jobs, your stress to survive. And then with the very heavy workload, it can be very, very challenging. Some students do have mental problems. So
right.
I think for students who come to Canada to study, they have to be well prepared how you can balance all these, your life and your study, how you can deal with the difficulties, how you can resolve your mental problems, and also, but talking about all these difficulties and the challenges, I still feel it's worth doing because Canada has a very high standard of education. You can learn a lot, but you do need to prepare how you're going to balance your life and the study. Otherwise, you may fall into some like holes, like you only focus on some like part-time jobs, right?
Mm,
And you forget you need to study, or you simply want to make money. It's quick money, right? But it's short, it's for short term, but it's quick money. But
yeah,
you may think, oh, I can still survive. Why not? I just keep doing this, right? But
right.
you lose your original dream if you keep doing that, right? So sometimes students talk to me. I feel they do need some guidance. They need encouragement from either friends or family members or professors to understand what is the right direction for them to go. Um, I think you have the same kind of experience, Drew, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree, right? And specifically when you spoke about how it's important that students think about the long term and not the short term. I said quick money. I totally get that, and also I feel like it becomes challenging and overwhelming for students because maybe this is the first time that they're also handling a lot of different things all at once, from studies to, or say academics to also taking care of yourself, right? And also like figuring out how do you enjoy the life as well, because
Yeah.
you don't want to get into the loop of just, earning and studying and then, miss out on the important part
Yeah.
of your life where you're making memories. So yeah, I agree with you, Professor. But then there's also like challenges, right? Where students get overwhelmed
Yeah.
because of the technological advancements, their research advancements as well, whatever goes on, right? So how do you think it, like, students can ensure that they're staying ahead of them? Because as you mentioned, it can take a toll on their mental health as well. So it's important that they know how to tackle and kind of get away with all these issues, right? How do they stay ahead of these advancements without being like overwhelmed?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a very good question. That's also a question for myself, not only for students,
Yeah,
because technology, developed too fast.
right.
Even for me, I feel it's very, very challenging to catch up with the new technologies, considering how many things I'm doing at the same time, so many
Mm,
meetings and the projects and work with the students and other faculty members, industries, etc. So I know students are really overwhelmed and they are confused. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to learn. I think that's one very big advantage that they are in the university, right? Professors can guide them.
right.
First, I would say it's very hard to stay ahead of the rapid technological advancements without feeling overwhelmed.
Well,
Yeah, so I would say you definitely will feel overwhelmed, but you need to calm down. You should not panic. You have to make a plan. Um, so when I try to learn something new, if I don't learn something new, I cannot teach students. Um, Usually we instructors, when we teach students, we try to use our experience to guide students, right? But however, nowadays there are so many new technologies. No one has that much experience, right?
Yeah,
Like generative AI. If you want to hire a person of generative AI with over 10 years of experience, that's no way, right? So not like a software developer, you can hire a person with 20 years of experience.
yeah,
So how I can get the experience, how I can get the technology, I can understand them. Then I can teach students. It's also challenging. Students could be learning the same thing at the same time as me, right? So I can use my previous industry experience, right? So and combine that with the new technologies to teach students what you need to learn, what I have been experienced, the difficulties, and the direction of all different kind of directions of your career in the future.
right,
So, if you want to really keep the yourself update of the new technologies, you need to work hard and you need to self learn. Self
mm,
learning is same thing to me is the most important skill nowadays because we cannot teach everything. Say we teach you generative AI today, maybe in a year it's different, right?
right,
So you have to learn about yourself because at that time you already graduated. You still have to learn. So learning is super important. That's what I tell the students in the class all the time. You have to self learn.
mm,
So um, you always look at those or you need to understand what to learn, right? You need to watch some videos. You need to look at some posts on like a LinkedIn, like a Medium, um, to learn what's happening in the market, what those like IT leaders are talking about. They will
right,
tell a lot of the trend of the technologies, and you need to attend events, connect with people. When you talk to people in the events, the projects they are talking about, you can ask them questions, right? So, what are you doing right now? What's your company's focus right now? So, what they are talking about is the trend because industries will need to generate revenues, right? They need to make money. They will catch up with the newest technology to make money, right? So you can learn from what they are doing to understand what is the trend, what is the most important thing for me to learn right now. Um, but the very hard thing for students is that they are already very busy. The
right,
part-time
yeah,
job, right? The part-time job, their very heavy load of study, and then they need to learn a lot of new things at the same time. Again, you need to manage your time very well. I heard a lot of quite a few students who didn't do very well in their midterm final or assignments. They told me they didn't manage their time very well. um, they actually had the time, although their times are always very tight, but they had the time, but they didn't manage the time very well. I know
right,
a lot of guys like to play games, video games. This is perfectly fine. You need to rest, right? You need to change your mind, your brain. So, but you cannot, when you change your brain, you want to refresh your brain, you play 3 hours of video games, right? So you missed so much precious time, right? So you have to prioritize what you need to do, what you want to spend your time on.
mm,
Always you need to balance your life and your study.
right, yeah. So I know it's definitely not possible that you cannot just think of the advancement and keep yourself worried, but then the constant progress of learning, the constant how you update yourself on a day-to-day basis. That's like the key thing that I pick up from
Yeah.
here, right? But then it's also about in the next, when you think of short term or say long term, like 5 years or 10 years, right? Students or in general, like professionals need to develop themselves, right? So according to you, because I know you've been researching a lot and how you constantly keep up with the changes, right? Like, what do you think would be some of the key skills, right, that would be say most valuable in the next 5 or 10 years, right? And how do you think like students, professionals, how do people keep developing them, right? Because practicing, getting to know about it is one thing, but then honing those skills and then implementing is another one, right? So how do you think that would impact it? What do you think the skills would be?
Mhm. Yeah, the key skills, if we talk about the computer science or IT skills for the next 5 to 10 years,
Hmm.
um, just like when I teach in the class, whenever we talk about, no matter what we talk about, like cybersecurity, like software development, cloud, etc., when we talk about the trend of technologies, the top one is always AI nowadays, right? AI or generative AI, because no matter what your career path is in the future, you cannot avoid using AI. I heard a news that China started the education of AI from 6 years old.
Wow.
I was very surprised. Maybe play some games to learn
Right.
AI. I don't know how
So
they.
as consumers, I think, right? Like as in
Yeah,
AI consumers, right? Okay.
yeah, right. So I think for the next 5 to 10 years, the most the important technologies that our students need to learn in the IT world is first AI and generative AI. More specifically nowadays is AI agents. They develop
Mm.
so fast, right? Now AI agents is the future of AI. And then there are, I think, three very important areas that students need to learn: cloud computing,
Right.
plus edge computing, cybersecurity, and data management. So,
Mm.
um, when we do AI projects or generative AI projects, first we need data, right? So that maps to data management. No matter what the problem you are solving nowadays, most likely you need data, right? So you need to manage the data, govern the data, make the data secure. So when we talk about the security of the data, we we need to think about the cybersecurity not only for the data but also for the whole system, right? Your data, your servers, your databases, your applications, and your storage, etc. So security is always so. If we among these technologies, if we I have to pick one that will be long term
Mm.
and also the most important, that will be cybersecurity, not AI.
Right.
Yeah, AI is a hype nowadays, right? But cybersecurity is going to be there for a very long time. And also cloud will be there for a very long time because we need a platform to implement and deploy the things, right? So no matter what you develop, AI applications, data analytics, and you implement security measurements, you need a platform. Just like when you do something, you need a laptop. Everyone has a laptop
Yeah.
nowadays, right? Cloud provides you the platform. Of course, you don't have to use cloud, but it's a trend, right? So many people and the companies are moving to the cloud. So I would say cybersecurity and cloud computing and edge computing will be a very long-term technologies that you need to understand, you need to learn. On top of that, you can develop your applications, your data management, data analytics, or AI projects, whatever use cases you are working on, right? So I think you have to um, develop some projects, understand the concepts, um, and try to do some practical work in these areas.
Mm.
In the class, I always tell my students nowadays, you need to do some projects at least related to three of these areas to make your resume look attractive to the industries. Otherwise,
Yeah.
your resumes will be very easily, filtered out.
Yeah. Also, maybe very similar to how the recruiters maybe get like thousands of resumes every single day, right? Or
Yeah,
maybe day is also like too much, but yeah.
yeah,
So I get it. So those are mostly like on the technical side of it, right? So
yeah.
say for instance, there are students. or professionals, not in IT, not in technical industry, right? I would say if there are people who are, let's say in ocean or maybe like in banking, right, or retail, uh, I would say not or sector agnostic industries, right? What are some of the skill set that would still be applicable to them, right? Because technical skill sets are definitely there, but I would say, are there any people skills, right, or interpersonal skills that would help them? They would probably complement these technical skill sets because knowing AI, knowing cybersecurity, either as consumers, either as people who develop, is definitely the advantageous side of it. But would there be something else apart from that?
Yeah, definitely. Um, there's one very big part, the of skill, big area of skill set that a lot of students do not have. That's the soft skills, right?
Hmm,
I feel soft skills is most difficult part for students to improve. For the technologies, you can learn, you can practice, right?
yeah,
It's so concrete, right? You write the code and then you practice it. You know how it works. But soft skills is so hard. Some people have very soft skills naturally, right? So you can see when they talk, when they communicate with people, naturally you can feel they have very good skills at talking, interacting, and they have good manners, etc. Right? Like you, Juve, I always use you as the example in the class. To tell students how important it is, the soft skills can help you for job seeking, and also even after you have a job, um, you still need soft skills. You want to be
hmm,
promoted, right?
yeah,
You want to have a very good, position in the company, whatever. So you still need soft skills. You cannot just focus on coding, right?
right.
Writing code.
The technical or the hard
Coding
skills.
is software development nowadays is experiencing a very, very big change. You don't want to be 100% software developer in your company, just facing the monitor, right? You need to talk to people.
Definitely. So do you think like there, like when you mentioned that soft skills one of the areas where students really, kind of fall short, do you think that's actually one of the biggest mistakes that they make when they're either, say preparing for a job market or and maybe something else, right? Apart from this. So what do you think? Can they avoid certain things? Can they practice certain things? Can they, kind of leverage certain resources or courses, or maybe, there are things out available outside that can help them and, prepare for the job market or at least secure their future, I would say, for the next few years.
Yeah. So soft skills is a major part. I think a lot of students, I won't say it's the biggest mistakes, but it's a very big area students need to improve.
Right.
Other things that students need to change or improve is that they need to change their mindset because they are students, they focus on grades
Hmm.
and or they focus on certifications, right? It's natural students think that way, right? So, but when you look for jobs, they don't look at your grades. They may consider your certifications, but that's not a decisive factor for them. So that doesn't mean you don't need to have a good grade, right? So if you have good grades, I would hope you show that on your resume, but that would not be the most important thing on your resume. So if you have good grades, if you have, say, two certifications, I think that's enough. I always tell students you should not be certification collector. Right?
Yeah.
You need some certification in the area that you like, and to prove to people that you have very good education on that, right? And then there is a big gap between students and the job market. That's the how you prepare your portfolio while you are studying in the university. So I used to see there was a very interesting discussion building your portfolio versus your university degree. Which one is more important? some people's point is that building portfolio is way more important than a university degree. So
Right.
I do get their point, but I don't think that's true for now, because still a lot of in the job market you can see a lot of job posts still specify what degree they need.
Integrate the need. Yeah.
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 And another thing is that when you learn, say for example, if you learn computer science, you learn from bachelor's to master's to PhDs, right? Within in the 4 year of bachelor study, you learned so much knowledge systematically, right?
Mm.
That's, it's not comparable if you just learn a Python course, right? Compared to 4 years systematic study. I really don't think they are comparable. So I do recommend students still go to universities to learn, to make your foundation very solid. And now you need to, after you are in a university, see, when you are approaching your 3rd year and the 4th year, or in a master's study, you do have to build your portfolio.
Right.
So how do you build your portfolio? You need to do projects. There are many ways to do projects. Like now here, in Dalhousie, we have term projects for the courses. Like in the course you took before, like the cloud architecting course.
Hmm.
At that time, we had a 1 term project. Right now, we have 2 term project, and
Okay.
one of them has to be an AI project. So
Okay.
the reason for this is simply for the market. I want to
Mm.
prepare my students ready. At least in their resume, they can show already they have
2
2 projects.
AI
Yeah,
projects.
they
Yeah.
already finished. So I would suggest the students at least prepare 5 projects. These projects could be from your projects when you study some courses, and also you can do some self-learning projects.
Right.
You can find example projects online very easily. There are so many resources,
Mm.
example projects. And also you need to you need to do the research and then think about what kind of project you want to do, the domain. Sometimes, idea is the most important, but it's a very hard thing, right? Which domain or which use case should I develop for this self-learning project without a professor telling me what I need to do? So you can think about like, oh, what does my father do? What does my mother do? My brother, my close friends. I think about what they are doing, their domain. And then I
Yeah.
can think about how I can improve their workflow, right? You may think of something, right? And then you can go to the web to search if there is like a data set, a data repos for
Mm.
their domains. Ask them if they have some pain points for their work, like a daily work. And then you may find, oh, maybe I can improve their workflow by
Right.
developing and generative AI projects, right? So this way, you can develop say 4 to 5 projects. You can put that in your resume. That will make your resume very, very, much more attractive than before, compared to only education, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
It's more
and
targeted to an industry, targeted to a domain that you're really interested in, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I think university degree plus a very strong portfolio would make you much more stronger.
Hmm. So, Professor, what do you think about all these online, specialization certification, right? Or say, for example, there are these master track courses that are offered online, say Coursera. They are from specific university. There are some, even if you consider things like, say, the executive MBAs and things like that,
Mm.
which all these bigger universities provide. Do you consider they would suffice as in a way for them to gather or gain the knowledge as well, rather than actually physically attending universities and then going through the same courses? So, do you think that would actually matter in any form, in any format as well?
I do think online courses, as long as you can systematically
Yeah.
learn all the required courses, I think it should be fine.
Mm.
I believe online courses from universities will be much more popular than before. It provides students a more affordable way to learn, right? You don't need to travel. You avoid so many troubles, right? And save so much money as long
Mm.
as you want to learn, right? So you can
Yeah.
still, I think you can still learn a lot from those online courses.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. No, that was informative because sometimes you're like also wondering, do you, and if you're saying, say for example, I today if I want to go ahead and maybe enhance my education, enhance my knowledge in a particular industry or a particular domain, then I would then think, would it be more feasible to attend a university, take courses, and then, graduate or get a degree? Or do you think an online degree and a course would make more sense, right? So that's exactly why I brought this. But definitely, there are like so many resources out there, like you mentioned. Also, when you say like students need to work on some projects, a personal project, when you're self-learning or researching more about it. Um, Definitely, when they're at the initial stages of learning something new, research again would be very vast. Now, consider, from a student's point of view, what do you think? Like, how do I know that what I find online is truly valuable for my learning, for my career? Because so say for example, I'm interested in learning about AI. I research about AI, generative AI specifically, but then there's so many resources, there's so many courses, so many, certification programs available. How do I know that this would be really beneficial for me, right? So that if you want to touch upon that particular
Mhm.
question, or
Yeah.
that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very time consuming process trying to find the appropriate materials to learn, right? That also happens to me. Um, First, I want to tell you as an extension of the previous question, uh, university education,
Mm.
um, and say you attend classes online and some online courses, and you attend university classes. If you I don't like those kind of online courses that there's no interaction. You learn the technologies, you learn the concepts, all the stuff from the online courses, right? But there's no interaction. So I used to discuss this with our faculty members at Dalhousie. So I said, I feel what I teach, a lot of the concepts I teach can be found in a lot of online courses. Why do I still teach it? Why
Mm.
do our students just attend, just to, it's not very expensive, right? They
Yeah.
just subscribe something and they can learn those online courses and they can watch again, again, again. Why do they learn from me? Um, our vice dean, associate dean told me that your students cannot learn your dozens of years experience,
Yeah.
right? They cannot learn that from the courses,
Yeah.
right? So when you teach your students how to design the architecture of an application for a given domain, no one teaches them how to design it, right? So your experience is the most valuable
Valuable.
thing when you teach those concepts. Well, that convinced me, Okay, so now get back to your question about how, yeah, so many online courses, resources, right? How do we choose the right one? It's very hard. It's very time consuming. So sometimes when I try to find something I need to learn, um, I search there are a few major sources. One is YouTube,
Right.
but YouTube is too random, right? So if you find one that's right for you, you save a lot of time. Otherwise, you just just like Googling, you are searching and
Mm.
searching. Eventually, you may find one, and then um, the online posts, like articles, like the LinkedIn posts, Medium posts, Coursera, right, etc. So
Yeah.
there's so many articles. Those are short, and those are um, quite. It's a very quick way for you to learn some concepts. I would suggest people to use YouTube to very short YouTube videos. if the YouTube is right for the concept you want to understand, just search that YouTube video within 5 minutes. The length should be less than 5 minutes. Otherwise, it's too long. So to
Right.
learn some concepts, that can help you a lot to understand the concepts. But for learning the more comprehensive knowledge and technologies, if you want to self-learn those, I hope you can subscribe something. You need to pay some money, right? For
Right.
example, the Udemy courses, Coursera courses, LinkedIn courses, and Pluralsight courses.
Mm.
You can find the watch the introduction of the course, and then you understand if that's the right course for you. And also, there's a review, right? You can see that.
Yeah.
That's a very good way to find the right material for you, but you need to pay some money. Um,
Definitely.
and also um, try to reach out to industries to see um, if you want to like build your portfolio and learn something that's quite practical. As students, I think you can reach out to industries,
Mm.
asking them if I can do something for free for a very small project for you. If you have something that you need a person to resolve some problems, I can work out something for you for free. So
Okay.
industry people are always, like we say, they are greedy. They are always very happy with free stuff. So because you work for them for free, they don't lose anything, right?
Yeah.
So they may lose a little bit time guiding you, telling you what the problem is, but they don't lose money, so they are happy. So this way, of course, I don't encourage students to do things for free. It's not very good. But if you really want to get experience, but you don't have the opportunities, this is a very doable way, I think.
Mm.
Some students
No.
do reach out to me, Professor, do you have any projects I can do it for free for you? To be honest, even though I have projects, I really hesitate. I ask them to do it for free. I feel very bad.
Yeah.
The industry people may not feel that bad. So
Mm.
yeah, students need to be brave and confident. If you don't understand something, just ask because you are a student, right? But you need to be confident when you uh, don't understand something. You need to learn. You need to be confident. I can learn it, right?
Right.
There are so many things. There's so many things we don't know, right? We just learn it. So I think combining YouTube, online courses, online articles, and also industry outreaching by doing self-learning projects, you can build a very good portfolio. And you will be also by doing this and learning this, if you do enough, you will be much more clearer about your future career path.
Right.
Yeah.
Your interest would be more legible
Yeah.
then, right? It will be more clear. But I like the way your perspective here when you said try to reach out to industries and ask if there's something that
Yeah.
they can help, right? Usually, like startups or small businesses would be more
Yeah.
than happy to kind of onboard the
Definitely.
students and help them, right?
Yeah.
No, no, that definitely was insightful. And then thank you so much. I know we are almost at time, and we want to keep this short as well, these episodes, so that it is easier
Okay.
for our viewers to take a look at it. But thank you so much for all the advice, for all the insights that you've given to not just me but also those who are watching, and thank you so much,
You're
Professor.
welcome, Juve. I'm very happy to provide my 2 cents over here.
Definitely, thank you so much, and
Okay.
I'll
You're
see you
welcome.
all in the next episode. Till then, take care.
Yeah. Okay. See you, Juve.